Oh man, oh man. I warned you guys about the storm. I knew it was going to happen. Guess now we got to wait for everybody to come back. Well, while I wait for people to come back, so this is Boulder, and I think that Boulder should totally have been called Bulkhead, but this design of a green this face has been used many times in Transformers, and every single time it's always a different name. You know, whether it be, a Cybertron character who has this face, or whether it be, yeah, welcome back again. I told you the storm is going to be not fun tonight. It's going to be messing with everything. But what could we do? What can we do? I was just rambling to myself while waiting for this thing to start back up again. Terrible, eh? So anyways, as I was saying, I also got a Mighty Max mini little figure kind of play set. For people that remember, Mighty Max were these little like heads or stuff that they open up and they make little play sets and everything. So I always am trying to track these guys down with their pieces, but good luck finding the pieces. So that, and the big find today, although I'm going to have to take him apart, is I found a G2 Megatron. Found a G2 Megatron in the wild, $3. And the problem is the electronics don't work. I'm going to open him up, and I'm going to probably have to clean out the battery cable, and I'm going to probably have to disconnect. This isn't my first time taking apart a G2 Megatron. I've taken apart many throughout the years, and the funny thing with G2 Megatron that people don't realize is he actually has a cable that attaches and clips out from the battery pack to the top here for the Megatron attack sound, I guess you could say, when you push this down here. And it's iconic. It's technically, like, if you really want to be accurate, the third Megatron toy, because you had the original, the Action Master, and this, if you don't count Galvatron. And it was when we started, hey, Megatrons are going to be tanks now. So picked him up. He's going to probably be showing up in a parts party in the future. But I need to fix him first. I want to get those electronics working on it. I'll probably, what I'm going to probably do, I'm going to take it apart and I'll take some photos and show people how he looks on the inside. Because it's cool, because he kind of has like he has a wire cable. And not a lot of people take apart that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting taking him apart. It's been a while since I've taken one apart. I haven't taken one apart since maybe I want to say like 2003 or something. It's been a while. But either way, pretty hype stuff. I'm pretty happy to get that. So I think that's more or less it. That's nothing else. Like, everything else I got was like video game stuff. I bought some stuff from Limited Run Games. That came in the mail. And that was about it. Just keeping it on the low with the Transformer stuff for the time being. Nothing that catches my eye, really. Was there any other super chats? Because now that this whole stream got messed up, but I must have missed some super chats. But, man, the storm is going to mess us up. I knew it. Before we started today, I was like, something's going to happen. We're going to get a flicker. And what happens with the flicker is we don't lose this, but we lose the internet for a second. And it's like, jeez. It is what it is. Crazy weather that we got going on here. Many times I've thought about getting a backup generator. I was thinking about it, but when you look into the electricity costs for a backup generator, because the thing with a backup generator is it's constantly charging to keep it at a certain level, and I have a power failure maybe twice a year. So to have a generator going all that time on the off chance that I might lose electricity once or twice, that's where it gets kind of like, I'd rather just have someone on like on a pedal or something to keep it going. That storm is Great Messenger doing his lightning attack, or is Storm Chest Hurricane. Yeah. From the mouth. Actually, that's Messenger Z, but either way, same thing. What did I get from limited run games? Multiple things. I pre-ordered the Double Dragon Neon one, and so sometimes they send you the stuff that they finished first. So they always do like trading cards and little extras and baubles and everything. So I really love Double Dragon Neon. I thought that's a fantastic game, and not a lot of people played it, but I love that game. It's a great 2-player beat 'em up. It has a lot of homages to all kinds of, different video game stuff, Mega Man and River City Ransom and all the throwbacks. Really good. And of course, HeMan, even, because the main villain is practically a Skeletor bootleg with a very Skeletor sounding voice. Great game. So I have that pre-ordered, but they sent me the trading cards for it first. I also got the new Shantae. They did a Shantae collector box set, so I always pick those up because Shantae is one of those Game Boy Color games that goes for ridiculous money now, and it kind of has this notoriety and history in relation to that because no one bought that first game, so it's worth a lot. So they did like a reissue anniversary kind of set thing, so I picked that up. And the other thing I got was River City Girls. It finally came. I was in like the second press printing of it, so I finally got that. Can't wait to play that one too. If you can tell, I like my beat 'em ups. I like my beat 'em up games. I like beat 'em ups and fighters. Capcom did me well back in the 90s. But yeah, just got those. They take a lot of space, but they're so beautiful. And if you sleep on those, if you don't get a limited run game after its pre-order's done, you are going to pay for it later. So that's the main reason why I also get those. I can't wait because they go through the roof, some of the prices of those. But yeah, you need a natural gas generator. See, the thing is I have what do you call it? It's like half and half for my house. It's natural gas and baseboard, I think it's called. And the one thing I like about it, because here in Canada we have really blistering cold winters, and that makes the heating go through the roof. So I want to make sure that in my summers it's nice and cool in the basement with my AC, and in the winter I don't have to spend too much on heating when it gets really crazy. It's well insulated, my house. I actually redid my roof not too long ago, so everything worked out with that. But yeah. Yeah, see, Pirate's Curse is the one that's the most expensive, because that was the one that when it first came out from limited run games, it was one of the first things that they did with Shantae. And again, people slept on that stuff because whoa, limited run games, what is this stupid stuff? And well, people paid for it now. Let's see. Let's jump into some other super chats. Now that we messed everything up with the restart, I think there's gonna be like 3 segments. I'm gonna have to cut everything up and fix it in the edits. Let's see. Dropping pixels, probably. It's the connection's getting a little rough, unfortunately. Just this one time. I hope you all stay with me. Lord Megatron wants to know, what's up, Proto Man? How do you feel about G.I. Joe Transformers, not just vehicles and the deco of Transformers, but actual transforming his tank in MOBA? I am shocked we haven't gotten that yet. I am really shocked. I am legitimately surprised we have yet to get any kind of official, look, we've gotten all this crossover stuff. I mean, technically the best, oh man, you could barely see him. The best we ever got was Snowcat from Energon, technically. And no, actually, I think there was that, what was that? We got the Rattler, but they used the Power Glide, so I think it was a Legend scale or a Scout scale. But it's just, I'm surprised they haven't done a full-fledged kind of line, because it would be easy money. Look, we got Ghostbusters, we got X-Men, we got, we're probably going to get Power Rangers at some point. You know, I'm surprised we got all these other crossover brands, but yet still no GI Joe. When GI Joe historically, with the exception of Spider-Man, because technically Spider-Man was the first crossover with Transformers with issue number 3. Was it the Viper? Viper, excuse me. Rattler, Viper. That's true. The Rattler has the, yeah, you're right, has the extra engines. But it's just something where, you know, so we got our crossover with Spider-Man and stuff, you know, with the whole Marvel crossover line. But I'm surprised, like, we never really got a good GI Joe full line. I'm legitimately surprised. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. We will see. That's what I always say. We'll see what happens in the future, because, like, I can't predict the future, but I could try to guide it in the right direction as best I can. Let's see. Princeton with the super chat question. Thanks again, Princeton with the super chat. Man, I'm not nailing it today. No audio at the beginning. Got the power failure. Almost choked on water today. It is just not doing good. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys something afterwards. There's something I got. I'll ask you if anyone knows what it is. But I'll ask after I answer Princeton's question here. Have you ever seen images for the Trans Xbox Runamuck and Roundabout and the Punch Counterpunch? Yes, I did. The Punch Counterpunch specifically, I'm really impressed by, because the Punch Counterpunch turns into a Toyota MR2 SW20, which, for anyone that watches Initial D or knows the racing world, that is a freaking amazing car. That's a mid-engine, like, to give an example of, I need a transformer here. So, like the engine isn't in the front, it isn't in the back, it's, like, just behind the driver, pretty much. It's like, pretty much where, you know, like the speakers in the back seat of a car would be. Like, that's where a mid-engine is. And MR2s, which are they're MR, which is mid-engine rear-wheel drive, the MR2s are just amazing Toyota cars. And the fact that Punch Counterpunch is the exact blue SW20 MR2 from Initial D is amazing. I love that. I love that a lot. That is so cool. And the fact that it has the different robot modes and the different alt modes, I mean, Punch Counterpunch is always one of those tougher kind of molds and designs to do, but that third-party company, X-Transbots, just knocked it out of the park. Again, because of the alt mode. It's the same thing, like, I can't hate on Armada Sideswipe, because he turns into a Nissan GTR. And a Nissan GTR is like a legendary car in the street racing scene. And the fact that he turns into that, even though his toy is terrible, his robot mode, it still has a special place in my heart just because of that. And it you know, it comes with a Nightbeat Minicon, it has that cool storage gimmick for him. So it has a few good things. Every Transformer has something good about it. Unless you're Night Scream, and then you fall apart. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. I really like that. I really like that a lot. That I'm probably not going to get it, unfortunately, because it's probably going to be ridiculously expensive. And I just, you know, I'm not. If I'm going to get a third-party Transformer thing, it's got to be something that I really, 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 really want. And the fact that what makes me most excited about this Punch Counterpunch is its alt mode, I might as well just buy a die cast of an MR2 SW20 at that point and just have that on display, you know? So, either way. But thanks for the question, Princeton. Thanks again for all the support, man, especially in this crazy day. Woo! Especially in this crazy day. But, you know, it's just like, you know, me with third party, I have a weird relationship with third party because I've worked with third party companies for years. Mostly on like a developmental or like a creative standpoint. And I have heavy respect for their talent and their ability to do Transformer stuff, their engineering, their passion, the passion for a lot of these guys, they're fans, and that's why the product comes out so well. But at the same time, it's also ridiculously expensive, and I don't have all the like. Don't let all this stuff behind you fool you. You know what I mean? Like, this is all, like, most of my Transformer toys that I have, this huge collection was all bought way before I even bought this house. You know, like, this is like, you know, this is just, it just so happens that I had a huge collection before moving into this place. And I got lucky that way. It's only $100. Now I might want to get it if it's only $100. Damn. You know what? X-Transport, they also did that You're Under Arrest skids there. I never got that. I really wish I got that thing, though. Because that was kind of cool, too. Man, a lot of cool stuff. There's, so one thing, there's so much stuff that's coming out right now. I'm looking at those Power Ranger Ninja Turtles, and I'm looking at so many things. I'm just going like, there's just not enough money and space in the world to enjoy it all. It's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We got a deep philosophical question here from Jeremy. Proto, is it weird to take a break from collecting due to money, space, or some other issues? Oh, totally. Let me tell you something. I had a friend. He's come to TF Cons many times in the past. He was even a dealer, I believe, at 2 of them. I don't want to say his name just because I don't want to embarrass him. But he had a point in his life. Like, this guy was crazy toy collector. Crazy toy collector. He did YouTube videos, but not just like Transformers, like everything. He loved superpowers. He loved, G.I. Joe, HeMan, and he reached a point in his life where, he was reaching 40, didn't have a girlfriend, didn't have direction, and he was thinking of really dialing it back. Like, he wasn't selling his stuff, but he was just going to kind of stop for a bit and just kind of refocus his life, put his money in a different area. Because he wasn't super rich or anything. He was just kind of working, collecting, and just kind of getting by. And it's just, it got to a point where, he pretty much stopped collecting. He kept all his stuff, but he was just like, I'm going to work on me. And it was probably the best thing ever to happen to him, because he ended up meeting somebody. He ended up really and the thing is, he met somebody. That person understood his hobby and helped him and everything and encouraged him. He's collecting again now, but during that time that he had off, it was like a meditation period for him. And it was good for him, because there's some people, and look, we're all different. We all have different ways that we handle our hobbies and stuff. And how, some people have more, I guess we'll call it addictive personalities than other, where some people, they get into stuff. Well, what's up, Lee J? My buddy Lee J's here. Lee J's a local Montrealer. Lee J probably knows who I'm talking about. He comes to the cons. But, it's one of these things where certain people, when they have addictive personalities, sometimes they they buy something, and then they go, now I want to get them all. And then before you know it, they go down the rabbit hole. Look, I bought this one Roboto, and I'm happy just having this one Roboto, Technically, the first ever He-Man toy I ever bought for myself. Every other He-Man toy I've ever gotten was more just a secondary market thing. Oh, wow, I'm getting some cheap He-Man toys and Battle Cat, and then I, sell them, make some money. This was the first time I ever bought one for myself. I want to track down maybe a Roboto, the vintage one, but, I just liked him because as a kid I have fond memories of, that one episode that he was in, because it came in the late lifespan of it, No, he wasn't. You know what, Stinkfist? He wasn't a 40-year-old virgin, though. He wasn't a 40-year-old virgin. He was able to, he's had girlfriends in the past, but he was a bit of an eccentric guy. And toys really took over his life in a lot of ways. I don't want to say his name because there is people that go to TFCon that might know who he is. But it's just, it got to a point where it really ate up a lot of his time and stuff. And because, he did take some time off from collecting, it did him good because of what his personality was as a toy collector. And he would build debt. He was the kind of guy, he'd buy a lot of stuff and then he'd pay the minimum on his credit card because he was buying more than he was making. And, he was someone who he does conventions with me, so he would sell too. And when you have a table next to a guy, you get to see if he's doing well or not. And sometimes he wouldn't do well because, he'd buy a figure at let's say $30 and then he kind of wants to get back that $30, but now it's loose. Yeah, it's complete. It's still in fairly good condition, but, some people when they go to cons and they see loose figures, they kind of want to get it less than, mint on card. So it got tough. I know you're joking, Stinkfist. It's just, but it's just, there is guys, though. I do agree. The thing is, and I've said it many times, like, everyone is different when it comes to this hobby. Everyone is different. Everyone has a different approach to it. I was lucky because my father is a toy collector. So I grew up around that. And because I grew up around that, I understood like the balance of family life and being a toy collector. Like my dad, like, I would go to conventions with my father and I'd see like he'd buy that one die-cast car because he likes die-cast cars and stuff. And I would see like, he's not going crazy. He's not buying 50,000 things for his big collection and display and stuff. He was very modest with it and he was good, and when you're a young kid, you're seeing how he does wheeling and dealing with dealers and stuff. And, so I was very lucky to be around that growing up. And then it helped me foster showing me how you could be a crazy Transformer toy collector, but still have a normal social life, a girlfriend, all of that stuff, and be able to have all of that and be normal. But then there's other people that, they have an addictive personality where they buy one thing and then they get obsessed with it and then it engulfs their life. And I would like to think that I'm absolutely obsessed with Transformers. I would like to think so. I'd like to think that my knowledge of it is insane, but yet I don't let it control my life. Even doing the podcast, I do the podcast daily, but I control it in my life. It's like 2 hours a day I dedicate to just recording, editing, uploading. Most of it I don't even have to sit in front of the computer for that. And that's it. Where the rest of my life I get to do whatever I want and just enjoy my life and do my thing, If anything, COVID was the only thing that slowed me down. That's the only thing that really slowed it down more than anything else. Like Lee J said, balance is key, Lee J. Ill Sonic. But balance is key. It really is. It's something where never go over the deep end. Like a lot of my patrons, one of the things that I have discussions with my patrons is we talk a lot of Transformer finance, and I always tell them, like, never have a hobby that you literally are going broke over. Or if you missed a paycheck, you'd be in big trouble. Never be in that kind of situation, because it's like, this stuff is cool. It's cool. But at the same time, it's not cool enough to lose a meal over, or to starve yourself. But everyone's different. It's easy for me to say it, but different people have different walks of life when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah. My impulse. See, Michael Koo says my impulse control has gotten better with Toys R Us no longer in the USA. Well, you know what? There's a lot of guys I know that they can't leave a Walmart or a Target without spending money. I know a lot of guys that are like that. Unfortunately, it's just, even if they didn't find what they were looking for, they got to get something. And those guys, years later, I'd see them at cons, and you look at their table at what they're selling, and it's a little bit of everything, because you see all of these impulse mistakes that they would make. It's like, oh, they didn't have any of these Transformers I wanted, but that Yu-Gi-Oh toy is looking really good right about now, and they never collected Yu-Gi-Oh up to that point. And it's like, no, stop, don't do that, And I'm not knocking Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm just saying, like, it's like, if this person was never collecting it up to this point, and just because they couldn't find, that like Studio Series figure, why are you doing it now, Michael Koo with another super chat here. What tipped Beast Wars into being done in 3D CG? Did Beast Wars come close to being done in 2D animation? Well, the history of Beast Wars and how it even came to be is thanks to McDonald's, of all things. Essentially, long story short, is G2 was a disaster. It had not done well. G2 is like, hey, let's do G1. That'll work well, right? And it didn't, pretty much. It's funny how it doesn't work like that now, but it's a different world. G2 came out when Power Rangers came out, so it was kind of snake bit from the beginning. But so it wasn't doing well, but Hasbro at the time was working with McDonald's. McDonald's has a separate company that actually handles their toys and marketing, and that company is the company that goes out talking to other companies to go, hey, Disney, you're going to do a movie. Do you want to do toys with us with McDonald's? You know, so that company is in charge. I think it's called L&M. I think it's called L&M Marketing or something. I could be wrong. It's something like that. And so they were in talks with Hasbro for years and years and years about doing Transformer product. And up to that point, they've only done one McDonald's Transformer product that was officially Hasbro, and it was only a regional thing in St. Louis. And it didn't do very well. They didn't transform. They're not very good. So, and that was in 1985, and they had never done anything since. They did My Little Pony stuff. They did little other things, but they've never done anything else. You know, they had good relationship with Mattel with doing Barbie stuff. They did great relationships with Lego. There was Lego stuff in McDonald's. Nothing Transformers with Hasbro. Not even G.I. Joe. So they opened up this dialogue, and they were like, okay, well, let's start brainstorming. And so they were doing some ideas back and forth, and they're like, hey, why don't we do Prowl? And Prowl will be a spaceship. Or why don't we do Optimus? And it'll be that. And they were going back and forth, and then they showed off these beast ideas. Optimus Prime as a manta ray. Prowl as a Black Panther. You know, Megatron as a beetle. You know, Megatron as a sea turtle. Like, they were just these beast ideas. And McDonald's really liked that. And so McDonald's actually is the main reason why Beast Wars exists today. Then they're like, how do we make a show for this? Because at the time, Hasbro was doing all their comic books with Dark Horse. So Dark Horse was this company that did, you know, all licensing. Star Wars. They were doing Aliens versus Predator, which was, again, a Kenner Hasbro toy brand. They were doing the G.I. Joe comics at that time. Were done through Dark Horse, and some of the later Transformer books, I think it's the How to Draw and 3D books were done with Dark Horse, and they're like, hey, why don't we do a Dark Horse Beast Wars comic? That would be our first piece of media. And what was it? The pack-in comic book that came with the Optimus Primal, the Croc Megatron, and the Bat Primal. That was done by Dark Horse. Nobody was credited on that book, not even the artists or anything, but it was a Dark Horse creation. Then they talked with Canadian company Mainframe Entertainment, who was just coming off of their reboot series, which was doing insanely well. They worked stuff out. We're going to do it with CG because they felt that aesthetic would work with it. Mainframe Entertainment, with their stuff that they were doing with Reboot, it was really good with their robots and their binomes, so they felt that they would make a good transition with that. And the rest is history. That's like the short version of it, pretty much. But there's a lot of cool stories behind that. You know, getting Bob Forward, who's a legendary writer who worked on Gem and the Holograms and She-Ra and everything. Getting him in to be one of the writers who really fleshed out the story and everything. Just amazing stuff. Just amazing stuff in general. That's why you're the Renaissance man. Real talk, I had no idea what that term meant until it showed up on that cover. Real talk, I had no idea. You know, it's absolutely kind of nuts because when I read that magazine or the cover and I was like, Renaissance man, what does that even mean? And pretty much what it means is anyone who likes something, they try to excel their best at it, I guess is the best way to put it. That's the simplest way to put it, I guess. There's a deeper meaning to it, but whatever. It ain't too big. I guess I'm a Renaissance man. Sure. I agree with Walmart never having anything in stock. Well, that's Walmart to Walmart, really. That's really from Walmart to Walmart. I want that Mattel exclusive Scareglow really bad, but it's sold out within seconds within release. Scareglow is one of those cool toys, eh? He's like one of those He-Man toys that has a glow-in-the-dark feature, and it has, like, you know, he's a skeleton guy, so that always speaks to a certain amount of people. But, you know, it's I'm not, again, He-Man, I've always been like 1 foot out the door with He-Man. You know, original series, even as a kid I always felt it was kind of She-Ra, my sister used to watch it, so I've actually seen more She-Ra episodes than I have He-Man because of my sister. And then of course the New Adventures of He-Man, I don't think I ever caught a single episode of it in his original run. I did see a couple episodes later because it's like, we're on the planet of Primus, and I'm just like, Planet of Primus, tell me more. But it wasn't that great from what people told me. I only saw a couple episodes, and the He-Man community was not a fan of it. The 2K series that came out, I watched almost all of it because it was on TV at the time. It was pretty appealing. I liked what they did with it. It was good writing, good voice acting. I dug that one. And it had this guy in more than one episode, which was a big deal too. I'm always going to fall back on the robots, man. Always going to fall back on the robots. But yeah, not a big He-Man guy. Not a big He-Man guy. You wanted the exclusive box with it. Oh, it comes with a fancy box too? Man, oh man. A fancy box also. This is a glow-in-the-dark box. See, that's the stuff like we'll never see here in Quebec because of language laws. If it doesn't have French on it, it's going to create a whole bunch of headaches. Horned Howl got back from the toy hunt, found nothing as normal. You know what, brother? Let me tell you something. I don't find anything in my area. Like, mind you, I'm not really looking that much either. Yeah, Gary Chalk was He-Man in that, and especially in the intro, you hear it. Gary's a talented dude. Doesn't get enough credit. He's in a lot of live action movies too. I'll be like sitting and watching a movie and you'll see Gary as like a police officer or something. You'll be like, oh, Optimus Primal, you know? But getting back to Horned Owl, what he was saying, like, I feel like I go to Walmart once a week just to go into the toy aisle and not buy anything, because there's just never anything there. I would have bought, I have Black Arachnia now. A listener sent it to me. Shout out to Jason. But, I would have bought Black Arachnia if I saw her in retail. But I just couldn't find her. Still to this very day, the only Kingdom stuff I have ever seen is the Scout class stuff. The core class, if you will. That's the only stuff I've ever seen. Everything else has always been, But, it's always like that. We got a gold super chat from Joseph. Shout out to Joseph. Joseph is an awesome bro. Do you think we will get repaints of Huffer and Pipes or either that for Earthrise? Well, the way I look at it is, for sure we're going to have Huffer and Pipes. And then supposedly there was a listing online, and the rumor is that there's a character called, and it's just a working name, called Puffer, which is supposed to be, this is the rumor, that it's going to use the color scheme from the character from GoBots of Road Ranger. That's what the rumor was. And so supposedly there's going to be another repaint of those two in a third mold. And if they want to, you have the GoBot Colors ones, which is like a black and orange, which was really cool. I have the original of that. And if you want more Huffer and Pipes, there's always Shafter from TFCon. Shafter was a Huffer Pipes repaint retool, and he looked spectacular. I'd say his real name, but I think YouTube would flag me. You could just post it in the comments. I think I could get away with it that way. If they don't block it, because sometimes people block the words too. But you did find the Worlds Collide set. Yeah, see, that's another set too that I'm kind of trying to gun for. If I see that, I'm going to try to pick that up because he looks really good. I have a listener that's trying to hook me up with it, so I'm going to see what happens with that. But I got to get that cheetah bra or whatever Jaguar bra colored Black Arachnia based off the box art. That's what it's all about, yo. That's what it's all about. Ranger Puffer, that's the one. Yeah. We'll see what it is. Again, the rumor is it's a GoBot color. There it is. There's the name of Shafter, his real name. We're all try not to be crazy. We'll all try not to be too crazy. Road Ranger is Black Huffer or Puffer, White Pipes. That's the current rumor. There's all kinds of rumors. Like, that's why I'm gonna wait until we get some more solid evidence, at least, hopefully. Andy Davis says, "Oh, my brother-in-law is an overnight manager, so it helps me get exclusives. I'm thankful." Oh, that's really cool then. I know that, I had a friend of mine years ago. He used to be my next door neighbor. He used to work at a Toys R Us as a manager. He doesn't live in Montreal anymore. And he used to tell me, when it comes to restock for Toys R Us and everything, this was back in the day, like I want to say 2009, 2008. He used to be like, we just restock whenever, like whenever we're bored. It's like, hey, it's kind of quiet right now. Let's crack open a case of this and fill it up. So it's all over the place sometimes. Obviously, Walmart has a different system probably, but I remember True was like that. And he also told me what blew my mind was he used to say if they had high-end items, and those high-end items, like let's say, to give an example, this was, again, it'll tell you what year it was. So you have the Power Ranger Legacy Collection, if you remember those, which are like these high-end die-cast meets plastic, high-end vintage Power Ranger items. And whenever they'd have in their sales, it's 30% off all Power Ranger product, they'd make sure to take all the Legacy Collection stuff, put it in the back, and then bring it out after the sale. And that was some dirty stuff. And I remember when he told me that, I was like, oh man, that sucks. Because that means like, probably when there were sales and stuff, he could have got in on that. Anyways, I just remember when he told me that, that was all those times I could have got some deals, on my masterpieces when they still existed in retail. I mean, we still have movie masterpieces. Lizardspherex with the super chat question wants to know, found Transmutate at GameStop today. Also, do you think we'll get an orange version of Tigatron? That's supposedly the rumor. Because we have Tigatron that is showing up in Walmart listings, and then we have a different Tigatron listing that's showing up in the Golden Disc collection. So the rumor is that Tigatron is going to have his regular colors for the regular mass release, the like pretty much what's going to be with Shadow Panther and all of that. And then we're going to get the Tony the Tiger colors, if you will, if you want to call it that. That one is going to be the Golden Disc collection. And that would be freaking awesome because that's a part of his history. The original box art with the mutant head that's out there in HD somewhere on the internet, and I posted I think once or twice on Twitter, and it's a piece of Tigatron's history. He was supposed to be a regular orange tiger, so it'd be cool to get that version of that character. Just give him a cool name or something, like call him Chester Cheetah or something. I don't know. It's something weird. But yeah, I think it's going to happen. And I think you also said, with the Shadow Panther head, the mutant head. Yeah. Night Prowler will be another cool one. Do that with the Cheetor mold. Give him the gray color scheme. The Halloween Horicon 2-pack. That's really cutting deep. But, I mean, if we look at anything, look at the Datsuns, look at the Lamborghinis, look at the Seeker Jets. Hasbro, if they have a character that they could use with those molds indefinitely, more power to them. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I might not buy it all, but like, if it's being able to be done and it'll resonate with someone and it'll make some money, go for it, Especially if you don't have to do anything, if it's just a repaint. So, I mean, people always forget that Hasbro was so lucky those first few years of Transformers because they didn't have to tool anything. 84 and 85, it was just like the money was just coming in because technically everything was a repaint of something that previously existed from Takara. So, now they're just getting to enjoy that now only recently. I mean, they did it during the Unicron trilogy and stuff, but not as extensively as today. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Lizardspherex. X-Men. Stinkfizz69, I don't toy hunt a lot because the stores are always empty and that's a waste of time. Yeah, I know. I hear you, man. I hear you. I just go because I'm doing food shopping. It's something if I wasn't going to Walmart to get like maybe some food shopping, like, water's on special or orange juice is on special, I probably wouldn't even go. I haven't been to a Toys R Us in I think like 2 weeks now, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I only went in there because I was looking for a Marvel Legends thing. Lord Megatron with the super chat question. Thank you, Lord Megatron. Hey, Proto, what kind of figures do you think we'll see in Legacy? Well, there's the rumors. I know there are rumors of the Transformer Prime figures, but I think that may be a separate line. You may be correct on that because I think that it would be weird to mix the two. But the rumor is supposedly that the Legacy collection is going to be already a mixture of different, celebrating all the different versions. So maybe it could be a separate line, like another anniversary kind of line, like what we got already before with the 10th anniversary for Selects. But it also might just be something that's mixed in. But the rumors are return to combiners. Combiners, Transformers Prime, a little bit of Beast Wars. That's the rumors. I kind of hope it's true because it'd be cool to revisit some of those combiners, knowing what we know today in terms of engineering. Will they be better? Will they be worse? That's to be determined. You know, that was the John Warden era. Now we're in the Lenny Penzica era of Hasbro and Transformers. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, I hope that they, you know, I like the character of Motormaster. I like the idea of him. He's kind of like the evil black repaint of Optimus Prime before there was an evil black repaint. It was just kind of his own mold. So I've always liked the idea of Motormaster, but every toy we've really gotten up to this point officially hasn't like scratched that itch for me. Like I have both the United Warrior version and the Hasbro version, and I was like, oh, you know, they have different kind of paint schemes and stuff, but I was just like, you know, it has that silly gimmick where you have to tuck his head in and it scratches the paint sometimes. It's like, either way, to me, it's like I would like to see, you know, more of the combiners just revisited again, and do some combiners that we haven't gotten yet. Where's my Road Caesar? Where's my Dino King? You know, Road Caesar is one of my favorite combiners ever. You know, I love Blacker, Laster, and Braver. You know, like, give me those guys. You know, you could do the little Breastmaster gimmick, everything. Oh, man, I would be so down for that. I would pre-order the hell out of that. Let's see here. Princeton says here, international shipping is slow in Chicago now. I wouldn't worry about shipping or anything. Everything right now is kind of slow. I'm waiting on... What did I order? I ordered something from a guy in Montreal. He doesn't want to deliver. He doesn't want me to go to him. He just wants to ship it. I guess because he doesn't want me to know his address. And it's been 6 days now. And it's literally mail within my own city. And I've been waiting 6 days now. So actually it's a computer piece or something. But, you know, still it's taking forever. So I'm used to the mail being slow. When it comes is when it comes. It's only when it's like, if it gets to the point where I feel like I wouldn't be able to dispute it or something, then we have an issue. But that's a whole other story, you know. What else do we got with the super chats? Transmutate in the USA can order from GameStop with shipping 1 to 3 days. Yeah. Well then. I'm getting my, I'm getting Transmutate soon. It's going to be coming in the mail. I was lucky enough I have someone in the States who picked it up cheaper through GameStop, and then it's cheaper for me to get it for its American price than for its Canadian price, because the Canadian price is a ripoff. A lot of, because we get them through GameStop in Canada is called EB Games, and a lot of the exclusives that EB Games gets, the markup from American dollar to Canadian dollar is ridiculous, and it's not even like exchange. It's just like if the item is $10 and exchange would make it like $13, it'll be a $20 item instead. So what's that $7 discrepancy? Whatever they feel like, you know, they'll make up some excuse like, well, you know, the uncertainty of the Canadian dollar going up and down, so because of that we have to cover our butt by making sure we have a good margin of error just in case. They always say stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, okay, here's your extra $7, you crooks. I'm not a fan of EB Games. Every time I go in there I'm seeing the wall of Funko Pop and I'm just going like, the end is near, my friend. The end is near. Let's see, what else do we got? Super chats today. How much time we have left? Oh man, we almost have half an hour left. Even though we had a little bit of a crash, everything is looking good. What's up, JR? JR with the super chat. Hi, Proto. Hi, everyone. Hello from the Philippines. What up? I gotta learn some Tagalog so I could respond back to you properly. Hello, fellow Filipino. Everyone's rocking out now. It's that thing where I have to ask, what's for dinner, Proto Man? Okonomiyaki I'm having. I got some okonomiyaki, which is the best way to explain it is kind of like Japanese pizza. I love okonomiyaki. It's extremely unhealthy, but I love it to death. Bacon okonomiyaki, chopped cabbage, dashi. It's delicious. It's yummy. I love my okonomiyaki. And tomorrow, my dad's going to be coming by because we have to build some shelving. Not in this room, in the comic book room. We're going to build some shelving together. And he's going to have okonomiyaki for the first time, too. So, because he's Canadian, so he likes his bacon. But bacon okonomiyaki is He's a French-Canadian boy, so he likes his bacon. According to my mom, when they first started dating, he ate raw bacon. And I'm just like, woo! That man is crazy. But thank you for the super chat, my friend. And it's always nice seeing your name. It's always nice seeing your name. I love okonomiyaki. I love it. The first time, I'm such a weeb. Like, the first time I learned about it was actually through Ranma 1/2. There's a character named Ukyo who's an okonomiyaki chef. And learning from that, going like, oh, I want to try that. That looks good. And then I went to a Japanese restaurant, in 2004, 2005. One of my ex-girlfriends, I went with it, and they had okonomiyaki, and I tried it for the first time, and they made it nice and thin. It had bacon, it had dashi, and they put something else on it too, and then they put a sauce. I'm not crazy about the sauce, though, because it's very strong. I find it drowns out the flavor of everything else, but it was very good. I still liked it. I was like, I want more of this. So now I know how to make it at home myself. It's very easy to make, actually. It's very easy to make okonomiyaki. There's this great channel called Japanese Cooking 101. And it's just, I make so much food from that channel. Shout out to Japanese Cooking 101 for my Japanese curry, my okonomiyaki. Those are my two favorite ones to make. Japanese beef ball. You know, so much good protein for after a workout. Where we at? But thanks for the question, man. It's making me hungry now. Well, should I have something oily this late? I do not know. Not a wise idea. Stinkfist69 here, Proto. So when you come here to the USA, do you try and buy as much as you can, or do you have to deal with the shipping? Yes and yes and yes. Great story and image that I posted on Twitter a very long while ago. When the recession happened in 2008, in Canada, Leader Class Optimus Prime, $79.99. In the United States, that same Leader Class Optimus Prime, $49.99. So now, obviously, again, that argument of exchange, but it still doesn't make sense. But when the recession happened and the Canadian dollar was stronger than the American dollar, I raided the United States. There's this picture of me. I have a Walmart cart, full-size cart, filled to the top with Transformer product. Everything. I went crazy. And I bought, I think, a Speed Racer DVD box set and everything, because the Canadian dollar, I think it was like $1 Canadian was like 107 American. And I was just like, and everything is cheaper in the States too. Food is cheaper. Everything is cheaper. So I was like, I am going crazy shopping. So I've done that quite a few times. Carre for curry. But yeah, like I've done that many times. I've done that many times. Do they accept US dollars in Canada? Technically they don't, but I would be shocked to meet a single human being that would reject an American dollar. A lot of times, back in the day when I used to work for Burger King, this is like almost 20 years ago, when I worked for Burger King used to tell us if someone wants to pay in American dollars, it's 1 for 1. And it's like, that's kind of dirty because it's clearly not 1 for 1, like they're losing money, but that was our rule. And you'd be surprised how many Americans would come in and they'd be like, yeah, I want a number 7, Yeah, it's $6.30, sir, which is the chicken sandwich was the number 6. It's funny how that stuff never leaves you. It'd be like $6.30, sir. And they'd be like, do you accept American money? And I'd be like, yeah, but it's 1 for 1 and we have to give you back Canadian change. And they'd be like, okay. And they'd give me like literally singles, $7 American, and I'd give them back 70 Canadian and change. And they'd be cool with it. And technically Burger King made profit on that because the exchange was unfair. But I wouldn't be surprised if every chain probably takes it. You know, unofficially they shouldn't, because it's technically not the legal currency of the country, but they'll take it because it's American dollars is good stuff right now. You know, during that Clinton administration, when $1 American was like 150 Canadian, like it was insane back then. You know, like you would never reject that. Never. We got a super chat from Joseph Ritter, and he wants to know, do you think the Energon comes in multiple flavors? If not, would that be boring having the same energy every day? Well, we've seen blue Energon, we've seen unstable Energon, and we've seen purple Energon. The energy conductors that we see with Wheeljack and what do you call it? And Bumblebee, that's a yellow kind of energy, so it's probably a different kind of energy. But they like to drink it. So if they like to drink it, I hope that there's different flavors. I imagine they all taste like Kool-Aid. That's always what, looking at it, I'm picturing watered down Kool-Aid, watered down purple stuff Kool-Aid. I want that purple stuff. That's what I imagine Energon tastes like to a Cybertronian. It'll taste like fuel to us, like drinking gasoline, which I would not suggest. But I imagine that that's what it probably tastes like to a Cybertronian. And it probably tastes great because they love it. Yeah. Let's see. Let's grab another super chat. But thank you for the super chat, Joseph. Blue raspberry Energon treats. Yeah, it's true. And they have the Energon treats too that Cup and Hot Rod had. That I always interpreted those as cigarettes though, because it looked like it came out of like a cigarette pack. That's what it kind of looked like. Because I remember the first time he pops it out, and I'm just like, you know, that's not like a Pez dispenser. That's more like a cigarette. And I was always like, man, oh man, like that looks like he's giving him some cigarettes, or maybe they're cigarette candies like Popeye, you know, maybe it's like that. Oh man, I just got a flicker again. Oh, I hope we don't lose our connection. Oh no. If we lose the connection, we're done for the night. I'm not going to want to have to boot everything up again. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't lose the connection. I don't want to lose you guys. What's the flavor of gasoline? I have tasted gasoline. Mostly due to having to siphon gasoline out of dead cars. It is corrosive, and it'll choke you and kill you. Mostly the fumes, because when you're trying to suck it out, but if you do it too quickly, it is extremely corrosive. The best thing I could compare it to is if you've ever had like Sour Patch Kids, like something that's super sour, put that on your tongue and just let it sit there, because that's what it tastes like. It just fucking attacks your tongue and just, oh my God. I remember that messed me up so bad. I was like coughing like crazy. I felt like I took like a year off my life just by doing that. And usually when I do it, I do it good, but once I messed it up. Brief pixelation. Yeah, I know it's getting bad today. Today's not a good day, man. Today's not a good day for stream. The news was kind of weak today. We had an audio issue at the beginning. I didn't find a lot of Transformer stuff this week, and we had a crash due to, you know, the weather just not being friendly. Trying to get by with the stream. Just trying to get by. Once in a while something bad happens, but yeah, it's gasoline is you do not want to ever get that in your mouth. That stuff is pure poison. But when you got to siphon out of a gas tank that you have to switch out because someone has a gas leak, and you want to maintain the gas with the new one because you don't want to have to buy them gas and then have to put it on the bill, and then they complain that you put new gas in their car and they didn't agree to that, and the plight of being a mechanic. But it's not the best thing to do. If it has, no, don't worry, Stinkfist. Hopefully it won't happen. Today is a great day because this stream continues. Thank you, Stinkfist. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm always happy when you guys come to the stream and you ask questions, you know? Makes it fun. And the 3 Hasbro people that are here that are watching appreciate it too. There's 3 of them here. today, at least according to my list that I see. We got another super chat from Collector Prime. As a collector, should we try to collect masterpieces over Hasbro general items like work for Cybertron toys? That has really has to do with your goals. Let's put it this way. I have people that have a higher budget and they used to collect, like 2006, here comes the classics line. And they bought all of that. And then while they were buying the classics line, they were still kind of circumventing everything that was happening with alternators. And then they sold all their alternators to focus on classics. And then classics, while that was happening, think about it, when 2006, when classics was out, and I'm looking at the collection right now, up to that point, 2006, we had Masterpiece Optimus, Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, Masterpiece Starscream, and I think we just had gotten Megatron and we were going into Grimlock. Like literally, that's what it was of Masterpiece at that point. So everyone was just collecting classics like crazy because they thought that was going to be the mainline future. But as time progressed and third party got a bigger thing, and then even if there's something that Hasbro isn't going to do or Takara isn't going to do, third party will. So Gaz is a thing. Oh no, I've been saying Gaz all the time with a Z. Oh, that's the French in me. I apologize for that. I think I told this story on the stream once before. How I say Gaz with a Z. It's not a Canadian thing. It's a French-Canadian thing. I apologize. When you're raised where I was raised, there's certain words that just stick with you. And to say gas over Gaz, oh my God, it's just... I apologize. I always have to tell people that because I remember I was hanging out. I might as well retell this story. I was hanging out with my Toronto people, and they came down to Montreal, and they needed gas for the car. And I was like, yeah, there's a gas station right there. And they were like, what did you say? I'm like, gas station. And they're like, say that again, gas. And they're like, it's gas. I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. So you don't hear it, right? You say it with a Z. And Jaws D was with us. And Jaws D wasn't in the car. And he came into the car. And I'm like, hold on a sec. I got to get something straight here. Wendell, that's Jaws D's real name. Could you say what you put in a car to make it go? And then he's like, petrol? Yeah, so I did tell this story. Some people are saying petrol. And I'm like, no, to put in a car. Oh, you mean fuel? I'm like, oh my God. No, what everyone calls it except you who watches Top Gear and gets influenced by the UK people. Gaz. He's like, oh, Gaz? See, and he said it with a Z also. So it's a Quebec thing. It's French Canadians. We get affected by that. It's kind of like how some people call Subway a metro. Call it a metro or you call it a subway station, metro station. Depends on where you are in the world. But just a silly thing. But anyways, going back to what I was saying before about collecting, though, like when it comes to it really has to do with your budget and your goals. If you let's put it this way, if you're going to be a masterpiece collector, you are going to save a lot more money. I know it sounds silly, but like you're buying maybe one $300, $200, $100 figure every 3 months, as opposed to an entire wave of, Kingdom is going to cost you easily $300. So you will save, classic one. Ninjatron knows what's up. But, it's something where, like if you have the budget for it, I always say follow your heart. Everyone's collection is not the same. Like I don't have much third party. So because I don't have much third party, that's my thing. I have more like official Hasbro stuff and everything. I like to collect the Creos. I like to collect the bot shots and, all the weird stuff, the Tiny Titans and the titaniums, and I like all that kind of stuff. But, some people, if they don't like that stuff, that's cool. You don't like alternators, you don't like Universe 2.0, you don't like Robot Masters, you don't like Titaniums, you don't like Transformers Prime, that's cool, man. Everyone has something that it speaks to them. If you're a new collector, think about what was nostalgic to you that made you happy. Don't try to force other stuff. That stuff that'll happen naturally when you watch those shows. But if you remember watching Beast Wars or Armada and you really like those stuff, focus on that stuff because that stuff it'll bring you a lot more happiness. I find that me, getting Beast Wars toys sometimes makes me more happy than getting like a random, Prime figure. And the Prime figure might be a better figure, but like I remember when I got like Masterpiece Cheetor, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever made. you know? I was like the different faces and the reactions and the open mouths, and like I was like, I have to buy 2 of these. And I bought 2 of them because I couldn't decide how I wanted to display it. I wanted to have both modes on display. So like to me, like it just follow your heart with that kind of stuff. Oh, Michael Koo, you got a good question here. For Renegade's Transformer deck building game, are all the Transformers used in the game Hasbro renewed for trademarks? No, it isn't. It's the same thing with the Transformer TCG. I'm actually helping with the Transformer deck building game. There's going to be more updates on that in the future, exclusively to this channel. I've been working very closely with Renegade Games because I got that connection. But yeah, none of that stuff works with trademarks, unfortunately, because those are licensed, and they're licensed in a way that doesn't involve the trademarks. As opposed to something like, let's say, Super 7, where they license it, but they also work with it being a trademark, because it's very small numbers of trademarks, so they kind of allow it. But when it comes to trading cards, it's just not enough. It's kind of like how you could have a comic book, and the title of the comic book keeps the trademark, but the characters in the comic book doesn't keep the trademark. And that was like the story with Bumblebee, because you had the female character Bumblebee from DC Superheroes, and then you had the Bumblebee Transformer character. Now, the female character from DC Superheroes predates Bumblebee by like almost like a decade. In like, I think it was like 1973 she debuted, but she was in the Teen Titans comic. Teen Titans trademark. None of the characters in the comic are trademarked. You want to trademark Nightwing in the comic? He has to have his own comic, or have a figure released, or have something done like that with Mego. I don't know at the time, the 70s, But that's kind of the dicey area with that. So there's going to be a lot of cards in that game. I don't want to spoil. I'm not at liberty to talk about that right now. We are going to be doing a spoiler season. I believe the launch date officially planned will be October or November. It's still in the testing phase, but I'm going to be spoiling a lot of cards when they're going to send it to me. We're going to do all of that stuff. A lot of really cool things. That's a really hype game, and it's not just like me because I'm working on it. It looks really cool. It just looks really cool, and I like the choices of the characters, and the people behind it are really big fans that really want to bring in obscure characters and ideas that haven't really been brought up. Axe to the head with the super chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Axe to the head. Actually, here's an axe. We'll put it to the head. Sup, Proto Man? Do you think the Transformers TTRPG could work? I'm curious. Why haven't we seen an official one? P.S. The You're Under Arrest Skids has been reissued. Has it been? Holy F, I gotta get it then. Has it been? Because I can't find a pre-order anywhere when I look for it. Okay, I'm gonna go looking for that afterwards. Post a link or something. I want that. I want to get that. Just because it's like, hey, we're never gonna see that ever officially. A crossover with You're Under Arrest. That's so cool. And Lee J, who's in the chat, he's a huge fan of You're Under Arrest. So You're Under Arrest Transformer. Pretty badass. Going to your first question, I would love if they did something like that. But it's just... The problem is that RPGs are very story heavy and text heavy. And that means you have 3-star video games, you have 4-star video games, you have 5-star video games. War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron by Activision and High Moon Studio. Those were 5-star games. You know what I mean? Those were high-end, really put it to you kind of games. Everything that we've gotten of Transformers since then has been 3-star or shovelware games, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And until they stop licensing Transformers to companies that do 3-star and 2-star or 1-star games, that will not be the case. I mean, Niantic, what they're doing with the Transformers Heavy Metal Pokemon Go thing, that's pretty cool. that's going to be a huge hit when that comes out and it becomes like, out there. I think that that's going to be a little bit of a game changer, much like how Pokemon Go was like, making the world on fire at one point. So, tracking down mini-cons, fighting Decepticons, all in your local area, that's going to be super fun to do. It's such a shame that we're still in the big V world that we live in today, because that's something that if we didn't have that now, when this game launches, it's going to be amazing. Going to be amazing. The Devastation game was good, but that was Platinum Studios, and that was like the last good Transformer game. But even then, it was a great game. But I remember when I played it and beat it, and I was like, kind of short. It felt like it was a download game, but it was almost engineered to be a download game. It had to be you could buy it physically, you could have it separately, but it felt like a small download game. And that's Platinum Games. We're talking Bayonetta, we're talking these guys know what they're doing. But everything else, like that recent Cyberverse game, I don't know. I love stuff like Fire Emblem and everything and turn-based RPGs, but I don't know, it didn't have that pop to it that made people excited. Hey Proto, what are your thoughts on that Transformer ARG? Haven't messed with it, haven't seen it yet. I'll see when I see it. I'm not a guy to watch people who do YouTube reviews and stuff like that. So, Proto Man, are you collecting any McFarlane DC line? Nothing yet, but if they do something of Huntress or Wally West Flash or something of Nightwing, those are like my three people that I love. If they do like a really good like old school Nightwing, like old school colors, which has more of the yellow accent and the pop collar, I'll probably get that. Anything Huntress, it will be a purchase. And Wally West Flash. I love my Wally West Flash because he's my favorite Flash. Barry Allen is overrated. Overrated. Not my Flash. Most people didn't grow up with Barry Allen. Almost everyone here didn't grow up with Barry Allen. So it's all about Wally. I want to ask you guys something too. I keep forgetting to ask this. So I got a bag of figures. It was all a bunch of Super Mario stuff and everything. And I'm just going to pluck this in. What is this? What is this thing? It has a whole bunch of like pinpoints. You could plug things in. Does anyone know what this is? I can't find any info. It's like a washing machine with all these little things that you could put on it. I don't know. Does anyone know what this is? I could not find anything on this. Oh, Maxfix is doing a Hush Huntress? I gotta look that up. I'm gonna make a note of that. Yeah, because the Hush Huntress was a really nice design. That's that Jim Lee look. With the open belly. Huntress has had so many designs throughout the years. Her Earth 2 designs, her early stuff with After Crisis, and then of course the Jim Lee look, the animated look, which is kind of based off of the Hush Jim Lee look. Barry is greatest of all time? I don't know. Look, I like Flash Rebirth. That was a good comic. It showed how fast Flash is with the Speed Force and everything. But I don't know, Wally, I feel like Wally is still the man. I don't know. Junkbot, is that what it's called? Looks like a fidget cube. Junkbot. Someone said Junkbot. I gotta write this stuff down. Really? Is it called Junkbot? Oh, I got a whole bunch of text messages. Not now. Junkbot. From Hexbugs. Really? Is that what it is? It's from Hexbugs? Doesn't look like a Hexbug. Junkbot. I have no idea. Junkbot. Hexbug. Is it really? Oh, you're right. Yeah, there you go. Shout out to, who said it? Fawnheart 2000. Yeah, there it is. And then, of course, I got a freaking text message. God. Hold on a second. There we go. And I got it to... Oh, my God. Time for a new phone. Come on. Come on. Let's not screw up this time. Ah, there it is. Nice. Thank you. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle. Thank you, Fawnheart 2000. Fawnheart 2000, ask a question if you like. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I was wondering, like I was finding nothing. I was typing green washing machine, like nothing was coming up. It is like a washing machine because look, like you take the hat, you put it on the back here, and then it's like, oh, look at that. You know? I was like, what is this? Like I couldn't, you know, and me, I pride myself on knowledge, and I was just like, I have no idea what this is. Finally, someone found out what it is. Thank goodness. His name is Tumbleweed. Huh. I'm learning more every day. So it's a hex bug. Interesting. Because there was like, there's no date marking on it or anything. Anything. Where are we at? I must have missed a few super chats. I apologize, guys. Got distracted there. How much time we have left? Oh, man, we got 8 minutes left? What is going on? Oh, man. Bart Allen is cool. Yeah, Bart Allen is cool, too. I dig Bart Allen. He's an awesome guy. Crazy question, but thoughts on the Batman? Trailer looks okay. I mean, I need to see more. It really looks like it's a very brutal Batman, but I need to see more. Unless you're referring to The Batman, as in the animated series, The Batman, which I only saw a couple episodes of that. Toy line was kind of weird. Had all those plug-in points on the toys. Oh, wait, that was Brave and the Bold. That's a different Batman. Excuse me, I got that mixed up. Brave and the Bold was really good. I liked Brave and the Bold. That was Earth 2 kind of Batman stuff. With the birds of prey. Hey, Proto, what's your favorite version of Optimus Prime? Ooh, that's a tough one. I will say this. Up until 2000, it was Fire Convoy. Up until Cybertron, it was probably Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. Up until recently, it's probably, I don't know. I really like that Cyberverse Deluxe Prime. That's a really good one, too, with the opening chest with the Matrix that comes out. It's hard to pick. There's different Primes that I like, but those are like 3 really good ones. Fire Convoy will always have a special place in my heart, a.k.a. Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime. Always a cool design. Be careful of the chrome on the chest, though. Junk bots are sold as mystery toys. Well, good to know. It was just in a bag of, like, Super Mario stuff. So I was just like, what is this? And I bought it for, like, the Mario stuff. I wanted the Toad figure in it. Where are we at? Birds of Prey is a hilarious song. Very innuendo. I'm surprised. I think it was Gail Simone who wrote that episode, and she's awesome. I love Gail. Gail wrote the original Birds of Prey comic book series, but like the run that had the Huntress in it. I believe it was issue 54 moving forward. And I love everything she does, Gail. Some people don't like Gail. I love Gail. She's awesome. Oh, wow. Why you gotta be racist, Gwen Stefani? Why you gotta be racist? My friend Lee J is here. He wouldn't appreciate that. I'm surprised those are even going through. That's terrible. That is terrible. My friend Lee J would be offended if he didn't give a shit. If he didn't give a shit. Where are we at here? Let's take some more super chats and then we're going to call it a night anyway, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's see. Do I have to kick this person out? Do I have to kick this person out? Do I have to? I think I'm going to have to do that. You're making me have to kick someone out. I don't think it's a bot per se, but it's someone that clearly likes to bring up this kind of stuff. Here we go. Michael Koo with the question. Will the con exclusive of Symbiote Studio be a different color than the online release? Actually, it'll be the same, Michael. It's just because originally it was supposed to be an exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con. We know it's probably not going to happen with San Diego Comic-Con. And don't worry, I'm going to take care of all of this in post. I'm going to have to delete all of that. So no one will ever have to see that in replay. But the thing is that it was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Chances are SDCC is not happening. So what we're going to do instead is they're going to probably have it just be an online convention exclusive, which is during the weekend of SDCC. It'll be available on their website. And then if there's any leftovers, which sometimes there's not, a lot of their stuff sells out very quickly. You know, hopefully they'll have it in stock, but it's going to only be one version, and it's going to be awesome because I saw the full thing of it. I'm just showing you guys the teaser of it, you know, pretty much this guy right here. But it's going to be cool. I mean, we'll see what happens. We're still in a weird world right now, but have to say goodnight and stay safe from the storm. There's a real storm going. Yeah, I know, eh? Thanks, Princeton. Take care, my brother. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of this guy afterwards. Perma-block for his stupidity. Man, I was raised in the hood, and I never heard that much. Usually with a hard A instead of a hard R. But you always have assholes like that. Oh, well. It's been kind of a questionable kind of day anyways. Anyways, we're almost done, right? We got 3 minutes left. We'll take a few more questions. We'll do some non-super chats. Bring them on in. Hey, Proto, do you... Oh, it just got pushed up there. Hey, Proto, do you feel like you have more faith in this upcoming Transformers Rise of the Beast than the previous film? You know what? I go into every movie. I go into every Transformer movie with hope. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe this one's going to be good. I mean, you have to understand, guys, up to this point, the bad movies, as we call it, although, you know, the 2007 movie wasn't too bad. SDCC November might happen. Thank you, Joseph. But, you know, the hope that I always have is that, like, you know, this isn't going to be Michael Bay. So it's going to be a different director. So it's going to be a different way of storytelling, different kind of pace. I think what'll also tell me if it's going to be a good movie or not, and this is very important, how long it's going to be. If it's a 2-hour movie, I'm going to be down for it. If I hear that it's going to be another like 2 hour and 40 minute to 3 hour movie, I don't think that's going to be good. You shouldn't have to wear a catheter to a movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's something where I think you gotta have like a good balance of that. That's why the 2007 movie had a good pace, but the 2007 movie was also really good because Michael Bay didn't have complete control. Spielberg still had his fingers in that, you know? So I think that that's also another reason. Writer's strike also hurt it with the 2009 movie and the domino effect from that. Aaron Archer's going to talk about it in the future with us. You know, we'll cover that, but he was hands-on with all of that stuff, and it was not good, the choices. We'll take one more super chat question, then we will call it a night, guys. And it's going to be, hey, Proto, what Transformer crossover would you like to see, if any? I've said it before, and I've said it time and time again. I would love to see a continuation. Well, number one, what hasn't been done, Transformers Mega Man, because I just want to see that done. I want to see Hot Rod with Proto Man. I want to see Mega Man with Optimus Prime. I want to see Dr. Wily with Megatron. I want to see Bass with Starscream. I want to see those crossovers. You know, take Treble, he could be Ravage, you know. And then you could have Turbo Man, that is a Transformer in the Mega Man universe because he actually transforms. You know, I'd love to see that crossover of pre-existing stuff that we've had, and I'd love to see more of. I want to see more of that Street Fighter Transformer crossover. They did 4 figures. I want to see more. Do the whole lineup. Where's my Blanca? Where's Long Arm Prime from Animated as Dalsim? You know, like, just, you know, and even has the dot on his forehead for, you know, like it sells itself. You know, just repaint that. My goodness. But I would love to see more of that. Proto, I'll take one more question because it's actually interesting. Proto, do you have any high-grade car RC cars? No, but I have low-grade stuff. I was really into at one point. They were very popular in Japan. They were called speed breakers here in America. You put 2 batteries in it, it goes on a track. Forget what they were called. I was really into those in the 90s because they came over here as speed breakers. Never was really into RC cars because I was doing go-karting at that point, and to me that was the ultimate RC car. Still do go-karting, still love it to this day. But yeah, I you know what? I can appreciate it though, but you know, it's just I don't have all the money in the world. I'm surprised they never did a 1x1 scale RC transforming wheelie from Revenge of the Fallen. I'm surprised they never did that. Like, of all the things that they've done, like with Radio Shack, because Radio Shack did a whole bunch of movie toys, they never did that one. Yeah, it was Tamiya. What was it? It was Tamiya. It was called... I remember the anime was called Let's Go. Let's Go something. Oh my god, what is it called? I'm going to forget. It's going to drive me nuts. Yeah, it's popular in the Philippines, too, and a lot of the Southeast Asian countries. But Tamiya hosts them. Hosts the events of it. But at one point, they tried to bring it over here in America as speed breakers. And I remember Jesse the Body Ventura was the host of that. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. We are done. We are already over by 2 minutes. It was a bit of a disaster of a stream. I hope you guys got a little bit of entertainment out of that. Hope we learned something. Hope we had some fun together. Hope we talked about a bunch of stuff. And hope we learned a little bit, I guess. The storm hasn't destroyed the stream this second time around, but thanks again for everyone who super chatted. Thanks again, everyone who supports the podcast and all the crazy stuff we do here. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts what we do. We put out content every single day, and I hope that we give you guys something that is enticing and enjoyable and entertaining. I would wish that I could have a guest with me every time that we could kind of bounce off of, and it's not just me talking to you guys, but I feel we get a bit of a one-on-one connection too, and we get to do that kind of stuff. Again, if you want to support the podcast, help support what we do in this, again, patreon.com, /Protoman. The link is down there below. It'll also be in the repeat and the pinned comment. If you're watching this in repeat, which I'm going to have to do some editing. But yeah, check it out, guys. It's been cool. It's been fun. It's always great. I'm going to go have some Okonomiyaki because it's always awesome. And as always, roll out.